is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Now at 11, he is known as Blue's best friend, but tonight the man who handles the popular Butler mascot is in a fight for his life, and he's putting a call out for help. And it has happened again. A place of worship is shattered by a gunman's bullets. We have the latest on the investigation and the suspect's possible motivation. But let's begin tonight with Storm Team 6. I'm Meredith Barrick here with Kyle Mountain. Kyle, today not so great. You say tomorrow is the pick of the weekend.
Yeah, we're going to dry things out tomorrow. Once we get through a few more showers and rumbles of thunder out there tonight, Storm Team 6 radar tracking that band of rain moving through central Indiana. Take you in around Hamilton County. You've got some moderate to at times some heavy rainfall there, especially just north of Carmel through the Noblesville area, and it does stretch in toward Tipton. Some lighter rain into Kokomo, around Marion and Hartford City as well. We've got some heavier rain here, a couple rumbles of thunder with this one that's just moved out of Putnam County right along Highway 36 or US 36 there into Danville. And then as we work our way to the south, we've got some more areas and pockets of some steadier rainfall. You see on TrueCast here, this line of showers and thunderstorms racing quickly by 1 o'clock in the morning through Richmond into Liberty and moving into Ohio. At that point, we are dry heading into tomorrow morning. All that rain is associated with a cold front. Temperatures in the 30s in Chicago and Gary. It's 51 right now in downtown. So about after 1 o'clock in the morning, we'll really start to see those temperatures take a dive here to around 40 degrees tomorrow morning. Some areas dipping into the middle 30s. So it is going to be a chilly start to our Sunday. We'll take you hour by hour through the rest of your day in just a few minutes.
Kyle, thank you. New at 11, what do you do if you need a new kidney? For the man who handles Butler University's popular mascot, Blue, the waiting list for a kidney could be 4 to 7 years. He doesn't necessarily have that much time. Working for you, RTV6's Derek Thomas reports Michael Kaltenmark turned to social media for help.
This morning, Michael Kaltenmark tweeted this message: I need a kidney. Could be yours, someone you know, or even a complete stranger. I just need a kidney.
Good boy. There you go.
Kaltenmark is the Director of External Affairs at Butler University. One of the jobs he has in that role is overseeing the live mascot program. Tonight, he's making an appearance with Blue 3 at a birthday party at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Many of the guests have heard that he needs a kidney, but he wants to make sure more people know.
I have 2 brothers, and they're already started the process, but my doctors told me to cast a wide net, and they said, get the word out, and we want to help you find the best match that we can, and that means you've got to ask a lot of people and have them get involved. And so I put the word out thinking that a handful of people would see it and they would respond, and hundreds of people have seen it and have shared, and a lot of people are responding that they've already signed up and they're willing to help, and that's amazing.
While Kaltenmark tends to Blue 3 at the party, his friend Arnie talks about how you can help.
There's a website through IU Health. I think it's iuhealth.com/transplant, and you can figure out if you qualify. You can fill out a form, and IU will do the testing for you, and if you qualify, you can help Michael, or even you might be a match for someone who is waiting for a kidney.
Kaltenmark hopes he'll get a kidney with the messages he already has out there. But if those don't work, he's a public relations man, and he'll try anything. Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Kaltenmark says he has changed to a vegan diet to assist his compromised kidneys, and says Blue 3 has been a very supportive partner during this trying time. A suspect is in custody tonight after a shooting at a San Diego synagogue left 1 person dead and 3 others wounded. Among those hurt, a rabbi and a young girl. It happened this morning in Poway, a town about 10 miles outside of San Diego, during a gathering for the last day of Passover. ABC's Natalie Brunell has the latest from Los Angeles.
A Passover prayer service at the Chabad of Poway Synagogue near San Diego interrupted by a stream of gunfire.
Heard about 6 gunshots, a pause, some yelling, and then another 6 or 7 gunshots.
Authorities say 19-year-old John Ernest entered the synagogue armed with an assault-style rifle and began shooting around 11:30 a.m., striking 4 people. He fled the scene but was arrested minutes later. Deputies say he might also be connected to the arson attack at an Escondido mosque last month.
We're aware of his manifesto. which we're in the process of reviewing to determine its validity and authenticity.
We're good for here at the scene of the vehicle. We got an AR-15, a couple of loaded 30-round mags inside the vehicle.
Authorities say one woman has died. The other 3 victims are in stable condition, including a young girl and the rabbi who was leading the worship. Witnesses say even after he was shot, he continued to try to calm the congregation and the gunman. Heartbreaking reactions pouring in, including Congressman Scott Peters tweeting, quote, "Today also marks 6 months to the day of the tragedy at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. Enough."
Our entire nation mourns the loss of life, prays for the wounded, and stands in solidarity with the Jewish community.
The mayor of Poway pledging unity in the wake of this tragedy.
And we will walk through this tragedy with our arms around each other.
Natalie Brunell, ABC News, Los Angeles.
News of the synagogue shooting spread quickly among people attending the National Rifle Association convention in downtown Indianapolis. Earlier in the day, the biggest headline was the announcement that NRA President Oliver North would not be nominated for a second term. Then came word of the shooting, and while there was no shortage of opinions about what needs to be done to curtail mass shootings, most members stopped short of calling for restricted access to guns.
Mass shootings aren't good, but, you know, there's not much you can really do to stop them. I mean, people are going to get guns one way or another.
So you are not a proponent of gun control?
No, not at all.
Changing the gun laws and making it more strict for law-abiding citizens isn't going to change the minds of the criminals. Until we start enforcing the laws that are already on the books for criminal activities with guns, then that's when things will change.
Punishment, whenever you get these guys, should be merciless and fast, not dragged out over 10, 15 years of appeals and God knows what. In the meantime, nothing is happening.
Around 75,000 people are in town for the convention, which ends tomorrow.
Ask me to lay down my arms, and you'll hear another shot for ground.
Dozens gathered in Indianapolis to celebrate the Hoosier State Stand Your Ground laws. Speakers voiced their beliefs about the Second Amendment and why they will continue to bear arms. The rally held by Indiana Homestead was outside of the State House and comes just a day after Governor Holcomb signed legislation to strengthen the measure and remove the fee for certain firearm carry permits. It's a problem a lot of people have, safely getting rid of unused prescription medications. That's why drug take-back days are so important. And today was one of those days. The nationwide prescription drug take-back invited people to drop off their unwanted medications at state police posts. Officials hope by getting drugs out of homes, things like accidental overdoses, identity theft from prescription labels, and drug abuse will be reduced. It is kitten season, and if you have feral cats in your neighborhood, you know how quickly they can multiply. Tomorrow, 60 cats will be spayed and neutered to prevent overpopulation. Face Low-Cost Animal Clinic will perform the surgeries with the help of volunteer veterinarians. The cats will come from across the city. If left unaltered, the 60 cats could potentially produce 800 cats in the next year. 4 people are dead following a tragic incident in Seattle. The investigation now underway. Plus, mom and dad might get time off from work once a new baby arrives. But what about the grandparents? We'll tell you which global company is now offering grandparent leave for new nanas and proud papas.
After a brief break in the rain tomorrow, several rounds of wet weather coming our way and could add up to several inches of rainfall. I'll let you know when the heaviest could fall. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
At Ross, yes for less.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
An horrific accident in Seattle, Washington. 4 people are dead after a crane collapsed and crashed on top of at least 6 vehicles. Those killed include 2 crane operators and 2 people in separate cars. 3 people, including a mother and baby girl, were wounded and taken to a hospital. Now investigators are trying to determine what led to this tragedy. The man police say is responsible for a fiery crash that killed 4 people near Denver made his first court appearance today. today. Rogel Lazaro Aguero Medeiros faces numerous charges of vehicular homicide. A judge set his bond at $400,000. Aguilera has no prior criminal history whatsoever. Police say he appears to have lost control of the truck. He told his family the brakes went out. His lawyer called it a tragic accident. This was no random scheduling conflict. President Trump again snubbed the White House Correspondents' Dinner and instead held a campaign rally in Wisconsin. ABC's Rachel Scott reports from Washington.
Tonight, dueling events and a break in tradition. President Trump once again skipping the White House Correspondents' Dinner to hold a rally, leaving Washington and his press corps behind as he energized his base in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, home of the legendary Green Bay Packers, right?
It's been a decades-old tradition for presidents to attend the dinner, but President Trump is creating a tradition of his own. Tonight's dinner marking the third year in a row he has held a counter rally, and he even used it as a talking point.
Last year, this night, I was at a slightly different event. Not quite the best welcome.
The president taking on Democrats.
Sleepy Joe, Crazy Bernie.
And railing against the special counsel's investigation.
Liberal Democrats put all their hopes behind their collusion delusion, which has now been totally exposed to the world as a complete and total fraud.
Although the special counsel found insufficient evidence to prove the Trump campaign coordinated with the Russians to meddle in the 2016 election, the report outlined 11 instances of possible obstruction of justice. Back in Washington, the event known for its sense of humor, striking a more serious tone. For the first time in 15 years, a comedian was not cracking the jokes at the dinner. Instead, historian Ron Chernow was this year's special guest. President Trump is ramping up his 2020 campaign as the crowded field of Democrats only grows. But Wisconsin will be a key state for both parties. President Trump won the state in the 2016 election, but in the 2018 midterms, Democrats swept all statewide parties. Rachel Scott, ABC News, the White House.
Former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton says Democrats should be cautious ahead of the 2020 election and wary of possible hacking. She made the comments during an evening with the Clintons event in Washington, D.C. earlier tonight. Mrs. Clinton said hacking comes in many forms, be it social media bots and trolls.
We know that there is going to be continuing interference in line with what the Mueller report concluded about sweeping and systemic interference, which, as I wrote in the Washington Post a few days ago, is an attack on our country. So we know that. We know it happened, and what we're hearing is that it's going to happen again.
As for her pick for the 2020 race, Clinton says it's too early to tell, but she says Democrats need to unite behind one candidate. Two new changes could mean an instantly higher credit score. One is through Experian. It's called Experian Boost. It adds positive payment history instead of just the bad stuff. Think utility and cell phone bills, things you pay every single month. You have to sign up to get this. It is free and boosts your score instantly. Meanwhile, FICO is doing something called Ultra FICO. It's not out yet, but you can sign up. You give it permission to access information about your checking and savings accounts. This applies to information like how long the accounts have been open, how often you use them, and savings patterns. The CDC says tainted food killed 120 people last year and made another 25,000 sick. Almost half of the cases came from produce, but even processed foods like cereal, pasta, and salad were linked to some sort of outbreak. The good news is that the CDC is sniffing out these outbreaks faster than ever, and doctors are diagnosing within hours instead of days. You know about maternity and paternity leave for new parents to bond with their baby, but one global company is offering even more than that. Nicole Vowell found out they want to make sure grandparents get that time with the new baby too.
Her name is Georgia Finley Copel. She's 22 months old.
Stephen Copel loves spending time with his sweet granddaughter.
It's a little different than raising your own because you don't have all the responsibilities. So you just sit back and have fun and you spoil them.
This is his second grandchild, and forming that special bond from birth with Georgia is something Copel was able to do thanks to his company's grandparent leave benefit.
Go into the tool like you're going to take PTO and you just, click on you're taking grandparents' time off. So you get that time to enjoy.
Someone who has a new grandchild can take up to 3 days off within the first year of that child being welcomed into the family.
Karen Weens with the global tech company Cisco says no matter the family dynamic, whether the child is adopted or whatever the case may be, all 72,000 employees across the world can take 3 days off to bond with a new grandchild.
And all of these kind of time off programs, they're separate from any kind of PTO or in other parts of the world vacation that you would take.
The company already offers 4 weeks paid vacation, paid emergency leave, your birthday off with pay, and since 2017, a benefit for grandmas and grandpas, a bonus and special bonding time employees like Copel are grateful to get.
You can always be there to help and nurture.
And our culture really does support people being where they need to be and taking that time and really stepping away from whatever kind of responsibilities they would have to fully be there for their family.
I'm Nicole Vowell reporting.
What a great idea. All right, taking a turn now to our Storm Team 6 forecast. This is a look right now at downtown, view to the west. Kyle Mounts joining me here. Tomorrow is your pick day of the weekend. It's going to be a nice day out.
Yeah, it's going to dry out. It's still going to be cool tomorrow, and eventually we'll warm things up and get it back to spring-like conditions. But hey, we've seen some video today, Chicago dealing with snow.
Yeah, glad we're not them.
That's not us. So it's really not too bad out there. But we do have some showers and thunderstorms on Storm Team 6 radar for you. Nothing severe, not anticipating any severe weather for you this evening. But let's take you on a little radar tour here across Madison County around Anderson, I-69. Some downpours of rain, and that's about to move into Muncie with some steadier rainfall stretching back into eastern Hamilton County. These are racing to the east around 60 miles per hour, moving into farmland at 11:31. Hearing a little rumble of thunder now downtown. We'll look at that storm in just a second. Economy, look for some heavier rain about 11:41 or so. Here's the storm now moving through the Speedway area into Indianapolis within the next couple of minutes. Again, already hearing some of that thunder. New Pal at 11:41 and Greenfield at 11:43, and also tracking a few showers here along parts of 69. And then as we work our way through Bloomfield up to Spencer in Owen County, that will also be moving toward Martinsville. So looking back to the west again over downtown Indianapolis, and that view is getting a little more muddy here as now we've got the rain moving in. We've seen a few flashes of lightning out there. It's 52 degrees, so temperatures actually come up a little bit ahead of the cold front associated with these showers and thunderstorms. Kokomo, you're at a cooler 43, and tonight will all be cool and downright chilly into the upper 30s to around 40 degrees tomorrow morning. It's been difficult to get out there and get the yard work done. Tomorrow still going to be a bit of a challenge, not because we'll have rain falling, but because we've had so much that the ground is still fairly saturated, and we'll have more rain chances as we go through the upcoming week. Sunday forecast, though, we start off with cloudy skies. There are those temperatures still in the 40s at noon tomorrow. A little more sunshine into the afternoon, but that north breeze keeps us into the 50s for highs. We should be around 66 degrees. You'll get to about 60 in Bloomington, but only 58 in Indy and 59 in Lafayette. On Monday, shower and thunderstorm chances return to the forecast here. Temperatures do improve a little bit, though, as we make our way into the 60s. 7-day planning forecast, put it all together here for you, and there you see that daily chance of showers and thunderstorms returning Monday, and it's going to last through Thursday. I think the most likely time for rain is going to be Wednesday and Thursday, but we will see those temperatures improving up into the 70s for highs, but we could see 1 to possibly 3 inches of rain, and you get a couple of thunderstorms, and it could exceed that here by Thursday. So flooding concerns, remember, you come across some of those flooded roadways, turn around is just not worth it to drive through it.
Absolutely, and we can hear it coming down right now. You mentioned that thunder, and there was the rain shortly thereafter. Kyle, thank you. Riley Children's Hospital with the assist, how the Colts recruited some pint-sized patients for this year's NFL draft. That's next.
Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Disney will be censoring what's on its new streaming service. The company says it's removing racist content. Some people are questioning if this move is sanitizing history. Kumasi Aaron is getting perspective on the debate.
You want sticks on the fire, get fire going good.
This is Disney's 1946 film, Song of the South. Criticized for portraying the lives of former slaves on a plantation as idyllic after the Civil War, it's never been released in the U.S. on DVD, and the company has decided not to release it on its streaming service when it launches later this year.
Did you ever see an elephant fly?
This infamous Jim Crow scene from the movie Dumbo, considered racist, won't be there either.
I think it's a great decision, and I applaud Disney for doing so.
Dr. Rosemarie Allen is an education professor at Metropolitan State University of Denver and has used Disney films in her class to show students how messages in movies can shape how children view people.
The messages are there, and they're being set on the internal recordings of young children that really sets the stage for implicit bias later in life.
But now some are saying the films could provide a teachable moment. A petition on change.org is asking Song of the South be released to the public, saying, quote, "We feel that the solution is not to bury the film as Disney has done since the 1980s, but rather to release it to the American public so we can learn from history and make our own decisions."
Why would we place these inappropriate images about people in the minds of young children only to have to educate about taking them out? Let's not place them there in the first place.
Dr. Allen says watching a movie with racial stereotypes can be dangerous.
You are totally unaware that they're there, and it really becomes your truth. And you expect people to respond and to act in the ways that you saw them respond and act in the movies.
Starting a conversation about movies of the past in an effort to create a fairer future. I'm Kumasi Aaron reporting.
It is NFL Draft Weekend, and today some Riley Children's Health patients shared the spotlight with two new Colts players. The youngsters helped the Colts announce their 4th and 5th round draft picks. Kenny Moore and Pierre Desire joined patients Maddie Moore, Jahavian Shelton, and Mason Garvey at the podium. For 8-year-old Mason and Kenny Moore, today's event was a bit of a reunion.
We're actual friends, and we talk to each other all the time, and we keep each other updated with everything that's going on. So this is a guy that, I opened up in my life. So this is a relationship that I will cherish forever. I don't have many friends back at home or anything, so this is one of my close buddies right here.
Moore says he and Mason hang out all the time playing basketball and just trying to cheer each other up. We will be right back with one final check of the weather.
0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing.
Community members came together in the Twin Air neighborhood on Indy's southeast side for National Rebuilding Day. Work was done on 9 different homes. The goal is to provide healthy and safe home repairs like painting, installing floors, and landscaping. One homeowner explained to us why the touch-ups were so meaningful to her.
Tears, gratitude, awesome beyond words. I'm overwhelmed. I'm actually not going to be ashamed to come home and look at my house again. Anyway, it's home. I've been here 30 years. It's home, and now it feels like home again.
Rebuilding Together Indianapolis is celebrating its 20-year anniversary this year and has served more than 400 homeowners since 1999. Well, unfortunately, all that landscaping hopefully isn't going to get ruined by these storms right now, Kyle.
Yeah, we've got some rain that's moving through. Again, nothing severe, but a downtown downpour, some flashes of lightning, rumbles of thunder with that one. It will move through pretty quickly as these are moving at about 60 miles per hour. Dry tomorrow, then that daily chance of showers and storms returns.
All right, Kyle, thank you, and thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll see you tomorrow.